Alright, so I have my altcoin watch list, and in this video I'm gonna show it to you, but I'm also gonna show you the exact levels that I'm gonna buy into these altcoins, and I'm changing something. In this video also I'd like to show you what I'm exactly changing. So like the video already, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, and if you want to get exclusive videos, follow influencer wallets, do one-on-one meetings, etc, etc. There's a Patreon link down below where you can get like crazy insights. But for now, let's talk about the market. So first, Bitcoin at the moment of recording, $37,600. It's hovering around 37, 38 all the time. It's consolidating a little bit. And it's a big question, right? Like it went up. And will it now finally stay sideways and then have another move up? Or will it first have a correction? Well, that's, in my opinion, we will see a good correction. I spoke about it before. If you look at Bitcoin, every time it went up, it went down to the point where it had previous resistance, right? We had this resistance here at 25K. We shot all the way up to 31. We retested at 25. Confirmed as support, and we shut up even more. Now we also had that run up from like 25 again towards 38. Like that was a very big jump, but we haven't seen that correction yet. It's wicking around for the last couple of weeks, and that tells me that a lot is going on. The bulls and the bears are fighting quite hard over there, but nobody is really showing any form of strength. At a certain point, there will be one clear winner in this area, and yeah, like I said, I do expect that in the shorter term, the bears can catch up a little bit, maybe a correction back towards 32K. And if we manage to have that previous resistance as support, then I think it's very bullish for Bitcoin, and we can keep on going, climbing our way up. Now, about what I'm changing, like I said before, what I did is I've bought mainly into Bitcoin. I was dollar costing Bitcoin with $1,000 every week, and as we just saw, Bitcoin was doing fine, right? The Bitcoin dominance was also doing fine, so that does mean that altcoins were underperforming against Bitcoin. But this won't go on forever, and although I do think that the Bitcoin dominance could go higher, you know, a lot of people, they say 60%, maybe even higher than that. I do feel like, okay, 57% is for me already an area that I feel like, yeah, that could mark the top. It could go way higher, of course, but it won't surprise me if this will be the top, and then altcoins finally catch up and we will have an altcoin season for the first time in like 2 years. However, we have to take a look at altcoins then. So let's take a look at altcoins then. But what I'm now changing is I'm stopping my DCA into Bitcoin. I have enough Bitcoin right now. And once I feel like the Bitcoin dominance is stopping out, I'm going to convert that into altcoins. But it's still, also, I have cash, right? And I think a lot of people in the audience have cash. And they wonder like, okay, what can I best do with it? What should I buy into? When should I buy into it? That's not what I can tell you, of course, but I can tell you what I'm going to do. So let me pop up my watch list in a second and show you the exact levels of where I'm going to buy these altcoins. Now, if we take a look first at some charts before we can go on with that, the total tree, the altcoin market, having a decent pullback, like nothing too crazy. We went from 433 billion to 403, so we lost 30 billion. But that's not really the big pullback that I was talking about, really. Although on the shorter term, I do think we can have a little bounce right here. We should eventually come back down to around, yeah, probably in the region of 360 billion, give or take. I think that's a very good level, that if Bitcoin sees a pullback towards 32, 31 maybe, then this is where altcoins can go. And that means a very good entry for altcoins. If you notice that, if you look at the chart like this, so this is the total tree, right? Let me put it like this. This was the last cycle. the last cycle, if you look at this was overall was sideways, right? However, if you go to this area and you zoom in the middle of this, it's not sideways. What we did, we went from the bottom to the top. We did a 3.5x, and we came all the way down. We had another big ass pump, and we came all the way down again. And then we finally went up again, consolidated for a couple of months, and then we finally broke out, right? So in the middle of it, it's definitely not sideways. I do think that now is kind of the same, right? We have these pumps right here. Everybody is euphoric about the altcoin market. People are making a 2, 3, 4x, something like that, calling for an alt-season bull run. Well, you know it. Overall, I do think that if we look at the next cycle, once we are there, and we look at what we did right here, this was just as sideways as what it was over here, right? And overall, this is a pretty good, decent region if you're not too picky about the bottom or the top or the bottom of the top of the range. Then this is good to DCA, because time-wise, hey, I don't know how long we will stay in here. We could stay in here for a long time. Like, if you look at the last cycle, once we had the bottom, that was in December 2018. And once we really broke out of the range was end of 2020. So we were here for 2 years, more than 2 years, basically, if you also consider this to be part of the range, right? So more than 2 years. Now, well, from the bottom, that was January 2023. So we're not even a year here, right? And if you take it from June 2022, which was really the start of the range, you could say that at least June 2024, based on the last cycle at least, is when we can still be here. So what could happen in the meantime is we do something like, I don't know, it's super random, but that could happen, right? That could happen. And time-wise, it sounds long, but yeah, on the other hand, the longer you are in an accumulation phase, the longer you have the time to actually accumulate, the more you can accumulate, the more money you will make once the market really goes up. So at the end of the day, it's only better to be in this accumulation phase for a very long time. But I do think that we will break out around April, May, June, give or take that area, because that's after the halving. And after the halving is usually when we break out so far, right? But hey, this time could, of course, be completely different. Now, let's take a look at the altcoins that I'm looking at. So I want to go over a couple of these in my list, to just show you what my entries are. Now, Playable Games is a project that I think is really interesting. It's a gaming studio, and gaming studios are going to be a hot topic in the bull run for sure. This is, however, pretty new and very hard to throw some TA on, if you ask me. However, I do think that in the region of 5, like, it's not 5 cents, it's an extra zero, but let me call it like that. 5 cents, between 4.5 and 5 is a pretty good region to DCA. I do think that now, where we are right now at 7, is a little bit too high. If you look where this pump came from, we pumped really hard, and the pullback so far is not that huge. I'm waiting on that one. Then we have Altura. Altura is actually something that looks quite interesting right now. At 5 cents, by the way, also. Actually, 5 cents. It's a little bit higher right now, but that's actually a level that I feel like, okay, this could be a good entry. If this breaks, then I would wait to buy it at 3.5 cents. Then we have Avax. Avax. Now, Avax looks like Avax is interesting, but sorry, but it's close, right? Because what I'm seeing with Avax is we had a low, we had a lower low, we had a lower low, and we had a lower low. Now we had a high, we had a lower high, we had a lower high, but we made a high high. Not by far though. If it wasn't a higher high, then I would have been pretty bearish on Avax, because we have seen these pumps more, right? But they are all lower lows and lower highs. So if that was the case, I would have said like, hey, Avax is going lower than $8. Now, if Avax is now going lower than $8, I doubt it. I actually doubt it. And in my honest opinion, if you want to, again, not be too picky about the bottom, and I will try not to be in this video, okay? And you just want to DCA into good projects, then this level, $21, is a pretty good DCA level, in my opinion. And other than that, I would say around $16 is also a very good level. And that comes in with the bull market support band in a couple of weeks. So if we do something like this, right, that's a good area. And maybe it hovers around here for a while and then it really breaks out. But anywhere between 16 and 21, sorry, I'm still having a very bad cold. But that looks like a perfect level to DCA to me. Beam is a project that I think can do really well, really well. I spoke about it in my yesterday's video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. However, Beam is so new, it's so hard to do some TA on, right? So yeah, I can put it on the 4-hour chart, and then you can maybe see like, okay, we have this uptrend right here, right? And you want to see this hold, but on the other hand, this is such a short time frame. It's hard to say. Beam is just a project that, well, in this case, I feel like, man, anywhere in this region right now, by the way, is definitely not bad. We had resistance here. We had resistance here. We have a lot of support right here. So it could actually be a good level right now. However, if it does break down, then I do think that the next level for Beam could be, yeah, then the big level should be sitting around 6.7, give or take. ChainGPT had a very hard run, so it's like, this is a project that if you see it pump like this, you also want to see it cool off a little bit, right? Let me put it on the weekly for you. Look, this was a pump of a 5x, something like that, in a couple of weeks. I'm not a fan of buying into 5x's, okay? Like, let it cool off. But if it does cool off, then the next big level for ChainGPT should be sitting around 10 cents, maybe even 8. So between 8 and 10 cents. Enjinstarter is a launch pad, and I think a lot of people will be very mad at themselves if they don't buy into launch pads this cycle, okay? Because launch pads are the way to make it in crypto. It's like the crypto cheat sheet for sure. Enjinstarter, actually, kind of where it is sitting right now, is a big support level, 0.006. As you can see right here, we had this resistance and we have support here as well. This is a good support level. However, we can break it, and then I do think that around this level, 4.6 is a pretty good one. Lines up with this resistance. A lot of support here, a lot of resistance over here, little resistance, and the bull market support band, of course. Enjin. I don't have Enjin in my portfolio myself, but I do think that if crypto gaming has a good run, Enjin has a good run. And as you can see, it had a clear breakout from this point, and it did not do something like this where it had resistance, broke out, and then finds it as support, right, and still goes down. It actually broke up. And with Enjin, I feel like, yeah, it is showing some strength finally, but it's also needed because it was lagging a little bit. But this is the big support level for Enjin, 24 cents. Gala. A lot of people like Gala. If you want to buy into Gala, where is the price interesting? Well, let me take a look. Also, kind of where we are right now. Look, I mean, this support right here, we had support right here. We find it as support right now as well. Bull market support band is coming in right here. We broke above it. We tested it twice. Well, kind of 3 times, 3 weeks in a row. We stayed above it. Gala is showing strength right now. It is quite looking quite good. So to be honest, Gala now is a first decent DCA area. If this doesn't hold, then I would say around 1.7 cents is the next target. And it doesn't sound that far away, right? But if you look at it, it's 30% down, right? It would make sense. Like if you look at Bitcoin, for example, if Bitcoin does retest these levels right here of like 31K, something like that, right? That's 16% down. Well, we all know that if Bitcoin drops 1%, that the altcoin market can drop 2%. So it could actually mean that Gala could go to these levels. And you must not forget that although the market looks very euphoric right now, don't get trapped into it too much, okay? Because here we go. Sorry, wrong watch list. Because like I said, most projects, they pumped quite hard. Gala is not necessarily one of those that pumped really hard. Well, although from the bottom, it did a 2.5x, right? Can let it cool off for 30%. It's nothing weird, right? Games for a living. I said this before, but what's so beautiful about Games for a Living? It's one of the only projects that I can look at on a monthly chart and only has green candles. And it's not that there are like 2 candles. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green candles, 8 green monthly candles in a row. Super bullish, in my opinion. And Games for a Living, it could honestly go quite higher to 5.5 cents, and if it goes completely parabolic, even to 8 cents. I can see that happen. It has the momentum, it has the team, it has the hype, it has the quality, it has it all. It's like Nakamoto Games. Once it runs, right? And nobody can stop that anymore. At a certain point, it will cool off, of course. And I do think that if it will cool off, that 3.5 cents is a decent entry, and especially this area right here of 3 cents. We had some multiple weeks of resistance over here, and the bull market support band comes in over there as well. And as you know, or maybe don't, but the bull market support band, it's giving support in a bull market, okay? But it gives support. So it's not that we usually fly so far above it. It's we go above it, test it as support, go above it, test it, well, quite close here, as support, go above it. And even if Games for a Living now falls with also 30%, it's still in a bullish pattern. So that's a place where I'm gonna definitely add it to my bags. Good Morning Fam is something that I will DCA into as well. Good Morning Fam is a meme coin, but released by Seedify, and they are going to pivot somewhere beginning next year. They are going to add some crazy utilities to it when it comes to, I think it was fashion or clothing for their metaverse, and it's going to be pretty interesting. Sitting around $1 million market cap right now, so it's extremely micro cap. And to be honest, also this is quite new. It looked very dead for a while, and then it did like a 10x, 8x, give or take. It has to cool off. And if it does, to be honest, from the point where it broke out, give or take, we have some support here, we have some resistance here, we had that resistance here and here, support here, and we broke out. And that's 40% lower. Illuvium, shit. Illuvium, man, what a run. To be honest, I didn't expect this from Illuvium. Why? Well, not because I don't like Illuvium. It looks fantastic, and I love what they're building. And it's actually one of the first that's finally looking good as a crypto game, and that a lot can learn from. But it was already so high cap. It was so high cap for a single game. And I felt like, how is this going to pump hard? Well, it pumped like it had a $500,000 market cap. It didn't give a fuck. And what's interesting is that Illuvium had major support over here in 2022, came down, found resistance in 2023, came down again, broke out, and now it looks like it's going to retest it. So if we do bounce here, yeah, then this might be a good level to buy right now. But considering the risk reward, like how high cap it is right now, I feel like, okay, I'd rather miss out on it. It's not for me to buy it. I would only buy Illuvium if it comes down pretty hard. And with pretty hard, I mean towards like towards the level of around $67. Still think that's quite high cap for what it does, but it's down almost twice. Okay, but this was a major area for Illuvium. Also bull market support band right here, and I think this is also 40% down. Well, almost 40%. So as you see, it's quite coincident that it's all around 30-40% down. It does make sense. So that's my target. IMX. IMX, the one that I feel like this is going to surprise people in the bull. Funny thing about IMX is that it's been quite obviously ranging right now. So if you look at how it's been moving, well, around this, right? This is how IMX has been moving. And let's make this one red. So if this is the range for IMX, and we can take this lower, of course. Yeah, well, whatever. If this is kind of the range for IMX, yeah, it's sitting quite high at the range right now, right? That's not something that interests me too much for buying right now. My target, yeah. So my target for IMX would be something around here, right? We had lots of support and resistance going on here, major support going on over here, resistance here, and that's 88 cents. So let's say around 90 cents for IMX. It's now 120, so yeah, guess what? 30% down, by the way. And also where the bull market support band comes in. Hey, and this correction that we will get, like, I don't know if it will happen in a matter of like couple of days where we see some big red candles or just a slow bleed over the next month. I do think that December will be a pretty bearish month, as everything is sitting at resistance. But for example, things like the XY, USDT dominance is sitting at support. It lines up. Chainlink, yeah, pretty clear to me, to be honest. It was ranging between $5 and $9, give or take. I don't know why this fucking box is so big, but this was the range. I do think we should retest this. We broke out. We haven't seen the retest, right? So $9-10 Chainlink. Lit Lab, not that interesting. Magic. Finally getting some data from Magic, so that's good. Worst case scenario, I do think we can go back to the lows of 44 cents on Magic, but a decent, like very possible pullback would mean something at 68 cents. We're almost there already, right? So yeah, Magic is something that maybe look quite interesting right now. Forge, this is also quite clear to me. 520. Because also there was a big range, right? 520 was the resistance for a long time. We broke out, haven't seen a retest. We came close though, but we haven't really retested this level. And look, bam, bull market support band comes in over there at the end of January though. It's forecasted, but in my opinion, hey, if this is how it's going to move, wouldn't surprise me if we eventually see that price for sure. Remark, some kind of a competitor to competitor, kind of an you can compare it to Altura, well, give or take. It's not really the same, but whatever the fuck. It's a good project. It's a good project, and it was looking like shit for a long time. It got completely wrecked. This project was so wrecked, and now finally it had a pump from 130 to like 330. So not that big of a pump, but it's at least a sign of life, right? And to be honest, $2.15 is the level that I'm looking for. Ronin chain, a project that I think is also gonna be very big. These infrastructures, these layer ones, these chains for gaming. Like if you have multiple hit games on the blockchain, yeah, how do you think these blockchains are going to do, right? You can bet on the single games, but bet on the blockchains and you'll be fine. This was such a predictable top, by the way. If you look at these tops over here, right? Exactly where this came in. Here is exactly where we topped out. What did we do after we got rejected right here? We at least came back over here, right? So 92 cents, Ronin, first level. If we hold that, good level to entry. If we break that, then I think 74 cents, big level as well for Ronin. Will we see like 40 cents again? Hey, it can happen, but not sure though. Seedify had a major run. Sorry for my my drawings on Seedify. It might not really make sense. Yeah, I'm gonna delete everything. Fuck that. Seedify though had a major run from 50 cents to 250 at 5x. Looks really good, but yeah, we do have to have a pullback. And believe me, I have such a fucking huge Seedify bag for myself. For what do you mean? For what do you mean? We bought the top tier on Seedify at the bottom, by the way. Absolutely perfect. Incredible. But yeah, so I hate to see this go down, but I know it is going down. It's just what crypto does, right? So fuck it. Seedify, look, I think that Seedify is more in an area basically to draw. So if I have to draw an area for Seedify, I think it's going to be around yeah, this whole area basically. It's a big freaking area, I know, but this is the first area for Seedify, in my opinion, between 150 and 180, somewhere there, right? It's like again, it's a big range, but it's hard to predict, of course. But I do think that that's something we should at least see defy. So if it ever comes like that whole 190, I do think that's a quite too high though. So yeah, whatever. This is the area for Seedify that I'm looking at. If it holds, then you have a beautiful entry. If it doesn't hold, then yeah, unfortunately, I'll be looking at $1 again, as that is just major support, right? Major support. We have so much shit going on right there, maybe even 90 cents, right? But we have all the support going on right there. I don't think that we're going back there, but hey, on the other hand, if we do get a big recession, if the Fed starts cutting rates, then altcoins are gonna get fucked. So then yeah, I do think we will get there, and the Fed will start cut rates at some point, right? So altcoins will get fucked at some point. Question is how fucked. Is it like yeah, okay, let's not say that. So Shrapnel, I like Shrapnel. Oh, I've drawn this on a linear, on a logarithmic scale. Doesn't make sense. Shrapnel. it had a good pullback because there were some rumors of lawsuits, or not rumors, there were lawsuits. It wasn't anything too crazy though. And Shrapnel, it's a newer project. No big token unlocks for the coming 4 months. So that's not standing in the way. It's the Call of Duty of crypto, basically. It looks fantastic. It looks really good. I like it. And to be honest, check this out. Shrapnel, for what it does and how it looks. Ah, shit, I can't see it, right? Coin market cap. Shrappy. For what it does and how it looks, the market cap, $40 million. Not bad, not bad. I mean, again, look at an Illuvium. Illuvium is way more overhyped, but it's 400 million, right? Shrapnel, when it comes to like how the game is looking and the adoption that it has, 10 times as low. Feel like, okay, Shrapnel can do some catch up. So yeah, it could definitely go a bit higher than where it is right now. SNFTS, the low cap version of Seedify. This was beautiful. We had this downtrend right here, and we hold this I don't know when I've drawn this exactly. I think over here, and we hold it perfectly and had this bounce over here. Looks really good. I do think that SNFTS could go back to around the region of 0.002. So that's a loss of what, 25%. If we hold that, beautiful entry. If we lose that, then it's back to the bottom. Solana, yeah, Solana. Also, I feel like, where the fuck is the retest on Solana, man? It should come. Again, it would surprise me if we won't see $47 again. Maybe 45. Probably more likely. We had this major resistance. Solana was battling, struggling, fighting. It broke out, and once it did, it was like a yoo. And after a yoo, usually comes a boo. But we have seen the yoo, but not a boo yet. I want that boo. If we can hold the first boo, then I think that $45 is a pretty good entry level. If we don't, then we're gonna boohoo all the way down to 35. If we don't hold that, then it's 25, and if we don't hold that, it's it's coincidentally 15. Solana moves in $10 down each boohoo. So that's Solana. Spartadex. New chart, man, so it's really hard to tell. But if you're looking for a good launchpad, gamified DEX on Arbitrum, fully focused on gaming, I like it. But yeah, 23 cents. 23 is the level, I think. I mean, yeah, we had this shit over here. We had this, like, that's the only information I can get out of it. Superverse. It was running, man. It was absolutely ripping. And yeah, Superverse was... It had so much going on at the 20 cent spot. And once we broke it, it went all the way to 50 cents, man. And it found a rejection right there, as it should, right? I honestly would have expected it to go to slightly higher, to like more like 56, as there's big resistance sitting over there. But hey, that's crypto. Sometimes you find resistance without actual previous resistance levels. It's just what it is. People like me, they took their profits when it was that high, right? And that's understandable. If you don't, like, then what you're in crypto for if you don't take your money? If it comes down, yeah, to be honest, 20 cents. Now, well, yeah, 20 cents. The area of 2025, give or take. So let me draw the area right there, because it may not really be exactly 20, but I do think that this whole area um, is a big area, and we should retest that. Ultra did not really do much, to my surprise. Ultra is a good project, but like, yeah, it's in the accumulation phase right now. And to be honest, 19 cents. Yeah, could it go to 17? Yes, probably, likely. But is it a good buy right now? Yeah, I think so. I think this whole area right here is a good buy for Ultra. Veracity. Remove everything first. Veracity. Yeah. Slightly lower than where we are right now. I think Veracity can come down with another 16% maybe to that 0.006 level. That's a very good entry. And then we have WAGMI Games. WAGMI Games, let me put it on the daily because I try to see, is there some kind of a cup and handle over here? WAGMI Games blew up and got a good retrace. To be honest, where we are right now, I think I'm gonna buy some WAGMI because WAGMI is a project that I haven't really been into yet. I was, but it wasn't Gate, and Gate is getting, yeah, it has to go from the Netherlands, so I had to sell my WAGMI. But WAGMI, it had major resistance at this whole area. So again, you can basically just draw this whole box over here, right? Major resistance, and it broke out, and now it's looking like, hey, the resistance is now support. I hope it holds though, right? If it doesn't hold, then I do think that WAGMI could, yeah, ooh, that's a hard one, man. Yeah, lower. I think that this could hold, though. I think it could hold. WAGMI looks like a good entry. So these are my entries. If you want to know entries on my Moonshot portfolio or other coins, check out the Patreon. A lot of cool, interesting information right there. And in the meantime, if you like this content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Let me know what else you want me to take a look at. So if there are any coins, just drop a comment. I will go over them, of course. See you soon.